everybody and welcome back to the Fiorentina Early Access FM24 game. I've got them all in the wrong order, but it doesn't really matter. We are in January now, so we're back for the Super Cup, but we're not going to play the Super Cup. Well, I mean, I'm going to play the Super Cup, but you're not going to see it, because what we're going to do is split January into two parts, because a lot of you commented on the transfers through data episode to say you would love to see the data I use and how I go about it to find players. So I thought what we'd do is we'll just go from, basically I'll record for half an hour straight. I'll edit out the games and maybe we'll keep the games in and just show you the goals and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll just sort of go through it because I don't really want to change my squad unless we have to sell someone from the squad. And that probably will happen because there's a few players I would like to move on. But if we dive into the game, I'm not sure if we're already in the game. Editing Dave will sort that out. But we are second, 1 point off Juventus. We have the most goals in the league with 27. We've drawn 1, lost 4 and won 13 games. We are playing very, very well indeed in this save. And I'm quite liking the thought of potentially carrying this on into the full game as well and making it a data-based series. So let me know what your thoughts are about that. We basically do everything around data. We look at who we can sell from our team through data, who's underperforming, who we could bring in that's better. The other thing I was tempted to do is make it a Soccernomics save. If you haven't read if you haven't read the book Soccernomics, I'm reading it again for the second time now, and there's so much good stuff in there you can put into Football Manager. I think it might be quite fun. But anyway, we can cover that in a later video because I don't want to eat into January too much. But yes, results have been absolutely fantastic, including a 3-1 win over Liverpool, which was very, very nice indeed. We've actually then followed that up in the Champions League with a loss to Feyenoord, which wasn't very good, but did beat Galatasaray. And with 2 games left against Arsenal and Red Bull Leipzig, we should get through in the playoff stage, so it should be okay. We beat rivals Empoli 4-1 but lost to Roma 2-0, which was disappointing. Yeah, big wins in here. We lost to Lazio. Who else did we lose to? Sassuolo in here as well. So yeah, some mixed results, but generally all pretty good. Second in the league. It's going very, very well. We've got a lot of news to get through, so the window has just opened. Dodo is rumoured to be moving. We've been linked to Vlasic, Muric, Baumgartner and Belamonte. Now, Baumgartner's an interesting one. 25 years old, doesn't have a face, isn't a person, apparently. But he is a good player. He's not actually one I've looked at through data yet, so we'll have to have a look at that. Potentially, Scamacca could be moving to AC Milan on a £99 million deal. So that's the sort of money I don't want to pay for someone. I'll want to go and find bargains and see what we can do. So we'll see how that goes. But Fiorentina are also interested in signing Nicolo Casale, which is interesting because he may well be on my list as a potential replacement of one of our players. Napoli are thought to be looking at 25-year-old Donio Marlon from forward to bring him to Fiorentina. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Right, let's go and have a look at what we've got going on. So we've got the old thingamabob Super Cup happening. That's not a problem. We have signed Echeverri has joined us as well. I'm not sure if we're going to register him because he is a non-EU player. So I don't think he's actually going to be able to... Is he? No, he's under 22, so he might be all right. He may be all right. But yes, Claudio Echeverri joins. He is a very, very talented and young player. Potential-wise, could be very, very good. So we'll see if we can register him. If not, we may send him out on loan. Our backup 34-year-old goalkeeper Terracino has moved on. He has gone to Cremonese. Casale is drawing interest from Fiorentina, which is someone we've already spoken about. We are scouting him. We have offers for Delamera, which is a player that I'm not too sure if we should sell or not, because we are struggling a little bit with the old homegrown issues, and we've got 2 players here that are too old for the under-20s. Yeah, they were both in the first team. They're rubbish, so they're not going to play. And you are on a course, Claudio Echeverri. So yeah, if we have a quick look at the squad and look at registrations. So Christian Delamera is a homegrown player and homegrown. So I don't really want to sell him because at the moment we've only got 1 homegrown player registered, which is actually Luca Ranieri. But Christian Delamera, when he becomes over 22, will be one of those players. And I think not selling him would be the right thing to do. Now, potentially we could loan him. We could loan him out. And because he's not taking up a registration spot, so we don't technically need him at the moment. And he's not getting a lot of game time. So we could loan him out. I'm not against accepting loan offers for him. So Ascoli want him What do they want him to do? Regular starter, centre-back, yeah, there's no fixed fee at the end of it, so Ascoli is fine. And we're definitely going to reject this one, the transfer from Parma. And then we have another loan move, which was an important player, a little bit less money, but to be honest, we don't need the money at the moment, so we'll let him pick if it's Ascoli or Perugia that he wants to go and join. Now, in the squad, we do have some unhappy players. Sabri is unhappy, wants a new contract. I don't really want to give him one, so we may sell him. Mario Gila is wanted on loan by Roma or Sassuolo, so we may let him go out on loan as well. Amatucci is wanted by Cremonese, so I think he can potentially go. I don't think he's ever going to really make it, but again, he is a player that would count as homegrown, so not going to force it. And then the other one was Malang Sarr has got some interest in him. He has requested a move, so I think we're going to see what we can get for Malang Sarr. Now, will he be happy with 15? He would be happy with 15 million. He would not be happy with 15.5. So we'll go 15. We'll confirm that and see if we can get. Look, we're looking to sell him. There's a few people that are interested, so we may. Let's just go 15 million. Offer out. See if we get anyone to nibble. And of course, as I said, I'm not looking to bring anyone in and change the squad too much, but if we get offers for certain people, the one I did want to do, I'm pretty sure I might be able to get money for Martial. 3 and 9 isn't bad. He's not played badly, but I do think we can potentially look to get rid of him. There's no clubs interested in Anthony Martial. Let's hire an intermediary. Let's discuss with Martial and just be like, look, I'm happy here. I have no intention of letting you force me out. I'm going to struggle to register you. I think you're being very unfair. Right, well, bad luck, because I'm the manager. 20 million for this asking price is way above his value. Okay, 15 million, way above his value. 10 million, way above his value. God, bloody hell. Would not be happy. It's going to be like 5 million, isn't it? 6.5 million. All right, we'll confirm to that, and then we'll ask. We'll come back soon and see if we can get someone interested in Anthony Martial. So we're going into the game against Inter Milan. I'll come back and just show you the goals if there are any that go in and things like that. So this is more of a focus on January as a transfer window, not the games that we're going to play. So I want to keep it that way. So Mbala and Zola's put us 1-0 up from the penalty spot after 36 minutes in the Super Cup semi-final. So Valente Carbone has equalised for Inter Milan with 10 minutes to go. A devastating counter-attack from Inter. Saw Carbone break the offside trap. Soyuncu tried to get back and tackle him, and Lunin couldn't make the save. 1-1. And Inter Milan look to have won it in the 91st minute. Thuram looks like he's got the winner as Carbone got to the byline. The cross hit the defender. Di Marco laid it back, and Thuram just put it into the top corner. 2-1 Inter. Yeah, it finishes 2-1 to Inter Milan. I'm not that fussed about getting knocked out of the Super Cup. We've got bigger fish to fry. I'd rather focus on the league and not have injuries. We got an injury to Sofiane Amrabat, which is quite bad if it's a bad injury. They got an injury to Jan Sommer, their leading goalkeeper. So tough luck for the Super Cup. So it turns out you have to play a third place playoff. So we're going to go and play Napoli. Same drill. We'll come back for goals. We're only 2 days on from where we were before. So you haven't missed much. Okay, it's 1-0 Napoli in what is a really odd goal. Raspadori gets down the left, first time cross. Soyuncu, I'm not too sure what he tried to do. Lunin then remembered he couldn't catch the ball and it went down as a Lunin own goal, so weird. Zielinski's made it 2-0 with a wonderful free kick from the edge of the area and some shoddy replay work from Football Manager. We've got a goal back as Dodo ran down the left from a set piece, cut it back towards Parise, who just took it a little bit close to the goal and then rifled it in past the goalkeeper. 2-1, an entertaining third place playoff. 3-1 Napoli, a throw in on this hand side, a long cross to the back post, and it was headed home by Sonko. He rose above Dodo, easy header, Lunin crouched down. 3-1 Napoli. With 5 minutes of injury time to go, we're down to 10 men because of an injury, but we have made it 3-2 as Noah just gave it back to the edge of the area. Amatucci with a touch and a lovely finish from the youngster. But it is full time, and for some reason we're seeing a celebratory third place playoff win for Napoli. But yeah, disappointing. We absolutely battered them, but we didn't score, so it just wasn't our turn to win the trophy. Okay, so we've had a couple of offers for Anthony Martial, and I think we're probably going to just let him go and accept both of them. So 1.3 optional fee and an optional fee, both locked in, but I think we're just going to accept it and get rid of Anthony Martial. If you're interested, these are the scouting things I've set up. So I've got potential wonder kids set up where they've found Thiago Freitas, who is joining us, and we have 3 near matches. Tom Bischoff, who is joining us. Enoch Masteras is a new name on the list. Not too familiar with him, so we'll get a full scouting report of him. And Ishi Samuels Smith from Chelsea. Again, we'll get a full scout report on him as well. We then have the 15 to 18-year-old wonder kids. No one found in that yet. The improvement on the squads for people aged 15 to 28 and the 15 to 28 cream of the crop. Now, if you're wondering how I set these up, so 15 to 28 cream of the crop is anyone that's currently 4-star current ability and has the potential of 5-star between the ages of 15 and 28, and we're going to keep that going for ages. I'm expecting that to never really find anybody. Improvements on the squad is anyone that should be 3-star like that. That should be 3-star and then 5-star, and we'll see how that one keeps on going. 15 to 18-year-old wonder kids is exactly what it says on the tin. Anyone between the ages of 15 and 18 in Europe that's anything to 4-star potential ability, so we can keep an eye on them. And then the potential wonder kids, any area of the world, 15 to 18, and then 3.5-star as a minimum potential. So yeah, it's just giving us a few options to go and scout and see what is happening. Now, the transfers out have been pretty quiet. And as I said, I don't really feel like the squad needs that much improvement. We could probably do with a backup goalkeeper, but whilst Lunin's here and Martinelli's happy to play sub, I don't think that's too much of a problem, even though he is only 19, still playing for the under-20s, and we're one injury away from having just him in goal. It could be a bit of a problem. But generally, the squad is looking pretty good. It's got a few injuries stacking up a little bit, but I don't like to use that as a excuse to then go and... Yeah, okay, so we can't register Claudio Echeverri this season, so I'm going to see if we can potentially loan him out, although I don't think he'll be allowed. We'll have to wait and see. Let's. I don't care. You don't have to. Don't pay us anything. Just make sure he gets some football. That would be nice. But yeah, at the moment, this January transfer window has been a bit rubbish. Okay, we have a loan move from Sassuolo for Mario Hila, which is quite interesting. We bought him in. We bought him for £3 million. He's not really played for us this season, and I don't really want to do a permanent transfer away, but I am happy for him to go on loan and get some football. So let's remove and exclude that and see if they're happy for that. So if he goes, we are going to go and look for another defender. So because if he goes and Delamere goes, we're definitely going to need another defender in the squad. Okay, so Delamere is off, and I'm going to assume that Gila is going to go as well, so we can start looking for a bit of data to see how we are going to do. So this is, I can't remember what I was searching for last. I think it's homegrown at Fiorentina. Yeah, it was. So we'll start from a completely clean slate. Just see what's going on. So this is absolutely everybody in the world that is unsure of whether they want to move to us for a permanent transfer. Now, some big names in here: Florian Wirtz, Rasmus Højlund, Garnacho, Onana. Man United players all want to move to me for some reason. Nathan Patterson from Everton could be a good one. That would be someone I'd normally look at, I think, but then you look at the price, 89 to 105 million pounds. So my first bit of advice is narrow down to what you actually want to find. So we know we're after a centre-back. That's a pretty good start, right? We can get into the centre-backs. Now, Arthur Tieti is one who is on my shortlist, who we have been scouting and I am interested in buying, but not for 82 to 100 million pounds. He's been playing in Ligue 1, so a good league. There's nothing wrong with that. He's playing pretty well there. So that is an interesting one. And you've got to remember that all the time we're looking at data, which we will get into in a minute, there is always the eye test. Like, are they a good defender on paper? Mark Gay, for example, from Crystal Palace. He's clearly a very good defender. I don't need to pay 74 million for him. I can get him on a free transfer at the end of the season. However, the rules of Italy means he would take up one of our non-EU spots because he would be the signing from England and blah, blah, blah. Now, there is someone that is a player that I'm like, in fact, his contract's not expiring until the end of next season. So we'll get a full scout report on him and get him on the shortlist because it could be a complete no-brainer to go and pick him up. But back to the data. We want a centre-back, right? So I would suggest you go and set up a view which is similar to this. I may make this view available in the Discord if enough people want it. So if you're in the Discord, let me know. If you're in the comment section, let me know, and then join the Discord and come and get it. It's easier to upload things to Discord for you guys to download, I think, than it is to put it in a Dropbox, but we'll wait and see. So this is all the attributes and all the data and the stats that I think are necessary for attacking players sort of midfield players, and then your defensive players on the right hand side. So you'll see we've got goals, expected goals, non-penalty expected goals, penalties taken, penalties scored, shots per 90, shot percentage on target, and amount of assists that they've got. And then we've got dribbles, we've got fouls against, how many chances, crosses are they complete, and how many passes. What's the pass completed per 90, key passes per 90, opposition open play key passes, progressive passes, chances created, expected assists, and clear-cut chances created. And then for the defenders, we've got interceptions per 90, pressure attempts per 90, headers won per 90, header percent wins, aerial challenges attempted per 90, clearances made overall, tackles per 90, and a tackle win ratio. So we're going to be focusing on these defensive stats, and this will show up something pretty interesting. Obviously, if we take off the transfer thing, the big names really come in. Ruben Dias, Gvardiol, Hernandez, Kim Min-jae, Ben White, Marquinhos, Levi Colwill, etc. But none of them want to move to us. So what we're going to try and do is, using this data, we're going to try and find some potential bargain centre-backs that we can just get for cheaper for players that are performing well in good leagues. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit because, I could show you how to do it, but I've got a filter here that I've saved. And this, do I want to save this filter? No. So what I've done here is filter through all of this data and suggested the things that I want to have a look at here. So obviously a defender centre, I want them to be tall. So I've said height has to be at least 6'2". Headers 1 ratio on 80%, want them to win 80% of their headers. Aerial challenges 5 per game, so 80% of 5 is still a very good number. 4 something something around there. 4.5 might be even less, slightly less than that. Tackles completion ratio, so 80% of the tackles they go in for, they're winning, which is very good. They've made at least 15 appearances this season, so that we can get a good round number, and I'll show you why. Because if we drop that down to even 10, for example, we are going to get a few more people in there. And then if we drop it down to 1 or none, we'll have a look at none. So 1, the list grows and you get like the Swiss Super League, Croatian Premier League. And, if they've made 1 appearance, you can't judge what they've actually done overall. So we'll go with 15. 15's a good ratio, I think, halfway through the season. Mistakes leading to goals, none. I don't want anyone to make mistakes. Potentially, you could up that to 1 if we're not getting a big list of players, but I'd always prefer none. Pressures attempted per 90, 2 in the game. Interceptions completed per 90 is 2 as well. And as you can see, that then gives us this list. I'll go back into that in a minute because we'll probably use it to go and find someone else later on. But we have 2 players coming up here, and one of them is in the Eredivisie, which is a pretty decent league, and one of them is in the Russian Premier League, which is a pretty decent league as well. The key thing I always look at to start with is who has made the most appearances. It is Sava Sestic, who's made 19. He's played 210 more minutes than Nuray Alip so far. And he's got an average rating of 7.2, has Alip compared to Sava Sestic in the Eredivisie. Now, what you'll notice from this is we have no idea what club they play for. So I don't know if Sava Sestic could go and play for Ajax. He could be playing for one of the best teams in the Eredivisie. Nuray Alip could be going and play for, I don't know, Spartak Moscow, or one of the best teams in the Russian Premier League. The things that we need to look at is comparing these here, and straight away it's pretty obvious that other than aerial attempts per 90, it is actually Alip who is winning. He's successfully won 100% of his tackles this year. He's got a higher tackles per 90, so he's going in for 1.73 tackles per 90 minutes and winning all of them. 13 clearances to his name, 5.5 aerial attempts per game, and he's winning 87% of his headers, which is better than someone who's 6'4" in his division. He's winning nearly 5 headers a match. He's attempting presses 2.4 times a match, and he's intercepting, which is crucial, 2.4 times a match. If you think all those through balls that get in between your centres, that's what we want to see being cut out generally. Now, if we look at the slightly more attacking stats, he's looking slightly better. He's dribbled a little bit. He's been fouled a few more times. He's not completed any crosses, which is fine. That suggests that these numbers may be sort of pushing that Sestic has been playing in maybe central midfield for a couple of games, but a 94% pass completion ratio. He's attempting attempted passes 60 over per 90 minutes, so used to playing the ball out from the back. Passes completed 56.9, key passes 0.33 per 90, so he's not afraid to launch the ball into a dangerous position. He hasn't created clear-cut chances, but his expected assist is 0.05 and he's got 0 assists, so he's not a chance creator, and yeah, no assists. And as you can see, Sestic has got a couple more in there, so 1 clear-cut chance, he's got an expected assist, he's got 1 assist from that as well. So not too bad, and has put a cross in, or a couple of 2 crosses attempted, and 1 of them hit the target, so, or completed anyway into the target. And then going into the really attacking stats, which I'm going to put less weight on, Alip is having more shots and a better shot ratio per games. He's had 7. He's had 7 over 1,350 minutes. Sestic has had 9 over 1,056, and his ratio is much worse, and shots per 90 means they probably all came in quite a lot of games or early minutes or something. Non-penalty expected goals 0.39, 0.39, 1, 0.86, 0.86, 1. So they haven't missed any chance that they probably should be scoring. In Alip's case, he scored a chance that he probably shouldn't be scoring because that's below 0.5. But yeah, that's how I generally look at it. And then we go and do the eye test. So first up is in the Russian Premier League, Nuri Alip, 6'2", has very good heading ability. Acceleration 12 isn't too bad. Pace 11 to 5. 4.4 to 6.8 million. He's playing for Zenit, so he is playing for one of the better teams in Russia. So you could argue that he's not really been challenged. Alarm bells from these stats that we don't really know. Technique 9 to 12. I think that needs to be a bit better because technique is an all-round attribute, which is pulling off a tricky pass, crossfield ball. I think it relates to tackling and things like that as well. So dribbling, finishing, not fast. Corners, crossing, not fast about that. But yeah, the big ones, heading 16, jumping reach 13, acceleration 12, pace 11 to 15, 6'2". Seems to be pretty fit and healthy. Determination, I really like that. He's pretty aggressive, good work rate, good teamwork. Positioning's a little bit low, but the interception stat seems to suggest he's very good at intercepting the ball. Anyway, wouldn't be too much of a big wage, and yeah, not too bad a player. And then we look at Sava Sestic. So Sava Sestic is 23 years old, much less of a wage, cheaper player as well. Tackling 14, marking 14, heading 15, jumping reach 17, 6'4", we know he's really tall. Pace 12, acceleration 10, that's a bit slow, not very aggressive in the tackle. Good concentration, 15 to 17, positioning 15, work rate 11 to 14. So I think both players could potentially be, could potentially help us out and would give us an option. And then obviously the key thing I then go and do is scout them so that we can actually see their attributes fully, what we want to do. And of course you don't just wait and leave it at those players. You can knock this down a little bit. So let's go for someone that's only completed 75% of their tackles and had 75% header-1 ratio, and all of a sudden you get a massive list. And it gets like, so then you can go, okay, that's too many people to go through. So let's up it to 77, 77. And what else could we put in here? Mistakes. We could up our interceptions, see if we can narrow it down to 2.5. So 2.5, you can see in the background, there's no players coming up. 2.5 is the limit. So 2 is roughly a good number. And then if we search or order by interceptions per 90, Nuri Alip comes up top, 2.4. Pascal Struijk in the English Premier Division. So what was he missing out on then? So was he missing out on... Let's just nudge these up towards 80. Pascal Struijk is still there. 79, 79. Okay, Pascal Struijk is not still there. So is it tackles? No, he's not got 78 tackles. So it's headers 1. Pascal Struijk isn't winning as many headers as other people. But again, the list is getting bigger, right? But you can potentially count out. I'd always look at them through the attributes and the data. You can potentially count out someone like Joachim Dawa. He's playing in the Romanian First Division. I would say Romania to Italy Serie A is probably quite a big step. He doesn't look dreadful. He definitely doesn't look dreadful. And if you wanted a real cheap backup, he could probably do a job. But at 28 in the Romanian league, probably not for me. We've got another centre-back in Igor Diviev from Russia as well. We don't know too much about him, but I know he has been a very good player in previous FMs, so he probably would do a decent job in this one. We've got Maloney from the Bundesliga. We've got Pavlovic from the Austrian Premier Division, who is interestingly is a player I was looking at before as well. So, yeah, Pavlovic is an interesting one. So he does cut all of this stuff. He's not going to be overly expensive because he's coming from Austria. And his wage probably wouldn't be too much either. But 6'4", jumping reach is good, strength is good, aggressive, concentration, positioning's really good, work rate, marking, tackling, heading. I mean, for me, he would be one of the key ones we try and bring in because he's hitting all the attributes we want. It was his header percentage at 79% that was keeping him out of the previous search stuff, and the pass completion rate, his pass completion rate is actually 94%, which is absolutely massive. That is really, really good. So if we went like header percentages 1, Nuri Alpi is at the top, then Sestic, Pavlovic is up there as well. Headers 1, no, let's go a tackle ratio, 100% is Maloney. Let's look at this Maloney chap. So you have Leonard Maloney from the Bundesliga playing for, who is that? 1FC Heidenheim, 1846. Never heard of them. Very fit, jumping reach 13, very aggressive, very determined, great teamwork, great work rate. Wow, okay. Yeah, this guy looks like, again, as a decent little backup. 85k to 6.8, so our scouts have literally no idea about how much he would cost. So that's really interesting. So that's flagged up one that I've never heard of. Could be an interesting signing. Pascal Stroyek, we haven't really looked at yet. 6'3", jumping reach 15, aggression 13, positioning 15, work rate 14, heading 17, passing 14, tackling 14. Again, he's got a very high value though because he's coming from the Premier League, which is why it's always good to try and find players this way in slightly lower divisions. So your Eredivisie, your Russian Premier Leagues, your Austrian Premier Divisions and things like that. And then you need to think about, how your team plays. We like to keep possession. We like to build up from the back. So pass success rate is probably pretty crucial. 3 at the top there, or 4 people with 94. Pavlovic, Alip, Strujic and Diviev. That's really good. Distance covered, people that are going to put the miles in. Pavlovic, Strujic, Maloney's in there as well. So that's not too bad. In terms of the most minutes played is Strujic at 2,250. Then you've got Pavlovic at 1,944. In terms of average rating, it is Diviev at the top and then Nuri Alip in there as well. So that's a little insight into how I'm using data to go and find what players that I think would improve our team and stuff like that. Now, if we were doing this strictly by the data and we put all these back up to 80 and we search by this thing, these 2 players come up, these tick all the boxes, and Nuri Alip, as we went through, from a purely data perspective, is pretty much top in all of these, right? He's got the most interceptions per 90. He's doing the most pressures per 90. He's winning the most headers per 90. He's got the biggest header percentage win. He's going for not as many aerial challenges per 90. He's got more clearances. He's got a better tackles per 90, and they've both got 100% tackle ratio. So in theory, he would probably be the guy to go for. Now we're scouting them, so we can wait. We'll get back all of their information. Again, we can actually go to 78% isn't a terrible marker. Let's see if anyone else comes in. There is obviously Igor Diviev is in there as well, so we might as well give him a scout, see what they say. Pavlovic we've already fully scouted. The scouts love him. I do like Pavlovic. He is definitely one I'm considering. He's currently wanted by Napoli in our division as well. So there's a lot of things here to suggest we're barking up the right tree. Is there anyone that's doubtful? The only one there is Pau Torres is added to the list, which is very interesting. If you think that we're finding defenders who are playing similar to Pau Torres, but again, 77 to 112 million. I don't think we'll be paying that any time soon for you there. And of course, you can play around with these. You can add things in. You can take things out. So if we said, is there anyone out there that's made one mistake that is keeping them off this list? No, interestingly not. All the defenders we've got are pretty good. So if we lowered this from 6'2" to 6'1", let's say, is there anyone else that comes in there? No, there's the same people that keep showing up with these statistics. And to add these, you go into add condition, hit the little arrow, stat chalkboard, and then you can find them all from here. So we could go, let's add something in. Shall we go for tackles and interceptions, shots blocked defending per 90? Let's put this in here. Let's go for 1 shot blocked per 90 minutes. And that, just adding that stat in, gives us 1 player. which is Pascal Struijk. So if you were searching for everything, if you think your defenders aren't blocking enough and you want a defender that's brave and going to get in the way, then maybe Struijk is the man you go and sign. If we lower it to 0.75, Sestic is in there, which shows me that Alip isn't blocking as many shots. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing with the data. Now we're going to wait and see if we get those scout reports back, see what they say, and confirm that Delamere leaves and Gila leaves as well, and then we'll go from there. So I think what we're actually going to do is we are going to leave this episode here, because I've been recording for nearly an hour and I've no idea how long it's going to be when I edit it out. But yeah, I think we're going to leave it here. We're going to come back towards the end of January. We'll still do it in, this will be January part 1. And if we need to go and look for more players, then we'll do it through that data way again, and you can have another look and I'll set a filter up from scratch. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about it. Would you like to see an actual standalone video on this rather than built into the series? I don't know. I don't know if this is interesting. I don't know if it's helpful. I don't know if it's going to allow you to be a little bit different when you're scouting for players. But yeah, I've got a thought that potentially we carry this save on until we win the Champions League with Fiorentina, but we do make it quite a data heavy save. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it's something different. Hopefully it's entertained you a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.